Do you have a large family, also known as more than four, and you struggle to find appropriate and affordable accommodations for your family when you're traveling? Well, I've got some suggestions for you for your next trip to Orlando. Finding accommodations for a family of five or more can be really difficult, and it also can be expensive. But thankfully, we have stayed in a few places where the five of us have been able to stay together in one room and it didn't break the bank. So I just wanted to bring these recommendations to you, as I know we are in peak vacation season. So if you have a larger family, you're probably going to want to take notes. And hey, share this to a friend who also has a larger family, because this information is not easy to find. When you try to do a Google Maps search, it's not easy to filter out accommodations that will hold more than four. I've done it myself, and I just want to throw my hands in the air and say, everybody, we're sleeping on the beach. But in Orlando, there aren't any beaches to sleep on directly. So there are a few hotels that we have stayed at that have been great, and I want to let you know what those are. So first of all, if you are not really familiar with the Orlando area, it can get a little confusing. If you focus in on the Disney Springs area, you're going to be pretty well centrally located. That is typically Lake Buena Vista, but you can also just search for Disney Springs and then kind of open up your map and you can see where you're at. So to the west is going to be the Disney Bubble. So the Disney Springs area is kind of on the east of the Disney Bubble. But you're also in the Disney Springs area, you're only 30 minutes from Universal Studios, you're 20 minutes from any of the Disney parks, and you're 20 minutes from SeaWorld. Also, you're only about an hour away from Cocoa Beach, maybe a little more than an hour, which is one of our favorite places. You can go to Cape Canaveral, hang out at the beach, maybe watch a SpaceX launch. Who knows? There's lots of things to do. But we really enjoy places in the Disney Springs area when we are going to spend the night, especially if it's just for a couple of nights. So my first recommendation is going to be Lake Buena Vista Suites. These are family suites. They have 2 queens and a pull-out couch in another room. The bathroom's in the middle, kind of separating the two. Then you have an apartment-sized fridge, I guess they call them, a smaller fridge, a microwave, a full-size coffee pot. I think it's a full-sized. I could be wrong about that. We stayed at Lake Buena Vista Suites actually in March of 2023 when we did our Disney trip. Right next door is the sister resort, the Caribe Royale, and we've actually stayed there for the past 3 years for the Dice Tower convention. If you saw my short with the game library and you were like, what the heck is this? Dice Tower East Convention is held in Orlando, usually right around the 4th of July, and it's a blast. 1,500 board game and geeks get together and literally play games the whole time. We have a great time. It happens in Orlando. I didn't even go to Disney this time. We just stayed and played games and hung out with our family. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it there for you. The Caribe Royale has 2 different types of units available. They have the towers, which are the same type of room as the Buena Vista Suites. You've got 2 rooms, you got a double queen, a pull-out couch, fridge, microwave, coffee pot. Caribe Royale also has villas. Now, I put a review on Google Maps because I thought people need to know more about these villas. And then they corrected me and they said, our villas only sleep 6. And I know that's what they have listed on their website, which was very confusing. But when I called to make sure that this was going to fit our family, they said, oh yes, you can sleep 8 and then we have we can bring in a couple rollaway beds. And when we checked in, we asked about rollaway beds and they said, we'll see what's there. And if you need something else, call maintenance. So maybe it's just not something that's supposed to be public. just between you and me. We had a king-size bed. There was a bedroom with double queens. And then there is a pull-out couch. So it does sleep 8 people. I don't think I would recommend adding any more people because it would get a little crowded if you had more people in there than that. Maybe a couple of kids, you could, put them on the floor or something. I don't know. I don't know officially what the max occupancy is for those rooms, but we had 8 and it was fine. Go figure. A benefit to Lake Buena Vista Suites over the Caribe Royale is that Lake Buena Vista Suites offers a free hot breakfast. And you know how I love making sure my family has protein for breakfast. And if it's included in the price of the room, that's even better. So if you are looking for a hearty, hot meal to start your day off with, then you want to go with Lake Buena Vista Suites as opposed to the Caribe Royale. The Caribe Royale has a couple of places to eat on property, but they are quite expensive. I wouldn't recommend doing that on a daily basis. We did eat the steakhouse and it was good, but very expensive. Now, I will say that if you are planning on spending time at Universal, I would recommend staying on property at Universal. Disney can be more challenging and more expensive. Yes, I know it's exciting to be inside the Disney bubble, but sometimes it's just not cost effective for a large family to stay on property. And this is where you're looking for other accommodations. And that's where I would recommend looking at resorts in the Disney Springs area. The Caribe Royale and Lake Buena Vista Suites, they both offer complimentary shuttle service to the Disney parks, which is very nice. What I will say about that is they use the Mears bus service, the charter bus service. You will have to make a reservation and you may have to wait. It may not be available at 7:20 so that you can get to your park in time for rope drop. You do have to be mindful of that. One note, you will have to pay for parking at Buena Vista Suites and the Caribe Royale. And then if you decide to drive over to the Disney parks because maybe you couldn't get a reservation on the Mears transportation, then you are also going to be paying for parking at the Disney parks. You just have to take all of that into consideration when you're planning your budget for your trip. I did a video of how a family of 5 can travel to Disney, only spend $5,000. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it here for you because I think that's very helpful and maybe it helps you to understand where I'm coming from. Like, we want to maximize experience and minimize the effect on our wallet. I really enjoyed staying at the Caribe Royale in their villas. 8 people, we had a full kitchen, it was great. There were just a couple of oddities that I thought, why would you have a kitchen and not have these things? Maybe it was just our unit and our experience this time, but you're either going to want to bring some stuff with you or you're going to want to call and ask the front desk or concierge if they have these items available. We did not have any pot holders. Like, how are you supposed to use an oven and not be able to pull things out of the oven? The pans, there was like one big casserole dish, like a circular, like a Pyrex type thing. But there were a couple of pots, but as far as like cookie sheets, I don't think we had a cookie sheet or a baking pan. It was weird. There was only one kitchen dish towel in our unit, so we had to ask for more when housekeeping came around the next day. There was not a pizza cutter, which I thought was very strange. We're used to staying at timeshare type resorts, and this is a fully loaded kitchen, so then it's almost like these villas were an afterthought, and while it's great that they are there on the Caribe Royale property, they weren't fully equipped. It was very strange. The reason why I don't believe we had an actual coffee pot in either Buena Vista Suites or the Caribe Royale and the family suites is because we did call down there and ask for a full-size coffee pot. We had 4 coffee drinkers. One little Keurig at a time wasn't going to cut it. I actually just went to Walmart and bought a $13 cheapo coffee maker, and then we could make a full pot of coffee, and everybody was happy. Everybody had their coffee at the same time. The Keurig type machines might be fine for you. My husband is very particular about his coffee, so we brought our own coffee, but we didn't bring any Keurig reusable pods for him to use them in, so I had to buy some of those as well, just to cover all my bases. I want to go back to Universal Studios for a minute. I did a video about Universal Studios. I think it was actually comparing Disney and Universal. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it here. What I like about staying on property at Universal Studios is it is actually cost effective. You can stay at Endless Summer Resorts, which are dockside or surfside. They have these same family suites. They're set up a little different. You have a single bedroom with a queen size bed, and then in like your normal hotel area, you would have your double queen bed there as well. So you do sleep 6. Plus they provide a picnic table as well as the refrigerator, the microwave, and the coffee pot. Then there's a sink. I think there are 2 sinks. There's like one for the kitchen, and then I think there's one in the bathroom as well. So it was nice to be able to stay there, have a little bit of elbow room to spread out. We could bring our own food. We could microwave our own breakfast. Now, Universal Studios is not going to have any breakfast or meals included, but you can bring your own food in a cooler, put it in the fridge, and you can have your own breakfast there. We used to bring those breakfast sandwiches, and then they would just be thawed, and we'd throw them in the microwave and eat them before we'd hop on the bus on over to the City Walk area, because all of your security is in one location for Universal right now, until Epic comes out, of course. Then it's going to be in a different location. What I loved about the Endless Summer resorts at Universal is that they may be the value resorts, but they are so close to City Walk. It's a 5-minute bus ride. And you can be on Disney property and you could stay at those value resorts, and it could take you 30-40 minutes to get to the park. So I really think that's a huge perk. And there are so many other benefits to staying on Universal property if that's kind of where your main focus is. Maybe you're only going to spend 2 days at Disney and the rest of the time you're going to spend at Universal. I don't know. I don't know why anybody would want to go to all the parks in the same week, because they are exhausting. But you do you. I'm just saying, if you're going to spend time at Universal, look at the benefits and look at the prices, and that might be where you want to book your resort. If not, Disney Springs is a great area. I hope this was helpful. I just wanted to give you a quick recommendation of a couple places that we'd stayed and had a good experience. Are there any other areas that you would like to know about? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't subscribed yet, would you please do that? Like this video, share it to a friend, especially those of us who have more than 4, and hit that notification bell so you will be notified whenever I have a video upload. Don't worry, it's not a whole lot.